I'm looking back at the albums I heard growing up, not the big ones like Talking Book or Tapestry, just deeper cuts. Here are the albums that made me. Like I mentioned before, my first car was a 1967 VW Bug. I bought the body and transmission for $25 from a guy that had it rusting away in his front yard, then rebuilt the engine entirely from spare parts. This was possible because at the time, I was working at a VW and Porsche mechanics shop doing simple things like changing oil and cleaning up. But I was keen to get a car of my own, and the guy that owned the shop paid me in car parts. The guy was also a huge fan of smooth jazz, which is something one might not expect from a dude who owned a German auto service and raced every year in the 24 Hours of Sebring, but he was. Working there is how I first discovered Earl Klug, Najee, Al Jarreau, and of course, Michael Franks. The dude absolutely loved his 1976 release, The Art of Tea. I can't tell you how many times I heard that album in the shop. And at the time, I just think I kind of tolerated it. There wasn't a lot of juice in the smooth jazz I was hearing at the time, you know? It all felt pretty safe and predictable. Not a lot of urgency. Though I did like the single from Michael Frank's 1985 Skin Dive album, Your Secret Safe With Me. But you know, in hindsight, I was glad I was introduced to this music when I was. For starters, it gave me a working knowledge of who the players were, and in many cases, where they came from, especially the real heavies like Joe Sample, Bob James, and Grover Washington Jr. And since those days, I've become something of a fan of the stuff I disdained back then, especially Earl Klug. As for The Art of Tea, though, to this day, the best thing I can say about it is that the songs are catchy. It's also fun to play for someone who might not have heard it before, especially the two standout tracks for me, Popsicle Toes and Eggplant. Final analysis. Is this an album I still like? I guess. Is this an album I still spin regularly? Nope. Would I recommend The Art of Tea? Well, if you've never heard a song where someone compares a woman's body to the continents of North and South America, then sure. Otherwise, there's better jazz out there. Better smooth jazz, even.
And God gave our rhythm. He sure was good.